Hi there, I'm a muffin, and I'm having technical difficulties again. And you may ask, but this is the first episode. Unfortunately, you're right. This wasn't supposed to be. See, one of my friends who watches one popular Minecraft SMP was like, "What if I got a server for me and my friends to play on and record?" So they did. It's not a fancy sponsored server like big YouTubers or streamers have, so it tends to crash a bit. But it's fine, it's no big deal, so I started recording anyway. From the very first minute I logged on. Uh, but first, the audio didn't record. It's like, oh, that sucks. Guess I'll have to re record the audio later. I had trouble getting around to it, and before I could, my computer had a mess of a problem. There was the blue screen of death, followed by hardware issues where Windows itself had to be reinstalled. And before that could happen, files I didn't have backed up, which was nearly everything, had to be recovered. Plenty was recovered, but the recordings, they got worse. You'll see in a little bit as I play some clips. If you skip to the timestamp somewhere on screen, you'll arrive to me actually on the server, I hope. And I'll give a recap of everything important. Not everything important will be in the clips, and not everything in the clips will be important. But timestamp above, go there if you don't want to see the glitch clips with my audio over it, and I'll see you on the other side. So, for convenience, I've sped everything up a little bit. Here you'll see me first logging in and walking over, greeting the owner, even though it is a glitchy mess. I ended up going over and punching my first tree right before night. Those odd saplings, I have a texture pack that shows me when saplings are close to growing. Yeah, that shows just how bad this recording was. Here I am, of course, punching my first tree. Very, very important to show off that. There is the owner building a community house for us to hang out in, and this is the reason why we're called the Bees SMP. We worship bees. Here, I got surprised by a creeper. I made some comment in the original recording, so wanted to share it there. And we all went over to jump in beds to sleep the night away, and for a split second you're going to see the owner and their other friend who showed up. Here, I was fighting a skeleton while eating, and then finally it's like, okay, now I've eaten, now I can fight you. Here, I just followed the bee around because there was only one bee in the nest, but made sure it wasn't stuck in the house while it was being built, just because I was scared it would get trapped within. Also, I just really like bees. Here, I was starting to collect some clay for a nearby very large pond. I end up making my house out of bricks later. Would you shut up? Here, it's just chopping down a tree, and I noticed a little bit of a cave nearby while chopping. I was like, huh, why don't I check out down there? Notice it's a bit of a drop, so I end up setting up camp right around here. And I haven't found any coal, though you will notice I've found a little bit of iron. So, I made charcoal, didn't cook the iron just yet. The iron I just managed to find on the surface, which normally you find coal. So, I was a bit upset about that, but then I start going down, and we're told, hey, keep inventory would be on. But just to be sure, I double checked because a number of us have anxiety, including me, so I definitely wanted to be sure, at least at the start, that keep inventory was on, and I was glad I checked because it wasn't at the time. At least it got turned down once I asked about it. Yes, I can speak so well. I got more materials, and then I headed into the cave. Yes. Into the cave. Go. Come on. uh, let's see. I ended up mining that iron and found the skeleton, which killed me. I panicked for a second because it took a good 3-4 seconds before everything appeared in my inventory. I started typing in chat saying, "Oh no, it wasn't on," just as the stuff reappeared, and it's like, oh, wait, no, there it was. So I ended up going back to the cave, saw a zombie, and was like, hey, come on, come over here. And then a creeper appeared, and I was like, I'm not gonna deal with that. So it at least destroyed the zombie. But, of course, more were around. Let's see. Bought the skeleton. Just so you know, I am literally just watching the edited, sped up footage as I make this commentary, so that's why there's parts where I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Because I do not actually remember. At that point, I noticed in the footage there was some actual lag, but either way, it's the start of the game, so we're having trouble. And I remember this time I should put down my bed so I don't have to keep walking back and forth. We ended up all sleeping around the same time, and I headed back down to the cave. Found some more iron. Creeper scared me, making me notice a part up in the cave. Blew up the other piece of iron that was there too. But I end up looking, it's like, I'll light it up with my last torch that I currently have, which took me a little bit of trying. Then I ended up making a few more torches. Zombie jumped down. Then just after I killed it, trying to make more torches, another zombie jumps down. And I believe second one? Yeah, second one. And that made me think, I wonder if there's a mob spawner up there. Just so you know, there was not. I ended up checking down one path, saw some iron, no coal. I'm like, where is all the coal? Someone gave a joke answer, which I am not going to show when it pops up. I said, oh, that's getting censored, and I made sure I kept it in this clip show just so I could censor it and stay true to my word. But that's sort of, I may censor a bit here and there. So, mining more iron, still have not found coal, and I'm like, seriously, where is the coal? I'm up to 18 iron ore. And no one was really finding much coal. Few people used theirs, but it was just lacking. I ended up going up here. Skeleton nearly killed me, leaving me out of heart. I lit the thing up and started eating rotten flesh to get my health back. Not the best thing, but it's what I had. Finally, I explore the cave a bit more after healing and just find a pocket of monsters that got pushed down by this water stream, which I did eventually kill. Anyway, after that, I go mining, find this iron, which I mine up, and I'm like, I still haven't found any coal. Oh! Found some! And by that point, I had 23 iron ore. A little bit more ore there, but decide no, coal's more important. Here, I found a ruined portal, since we're 1.16. Notice that I got 2 obsidian, 1 clock, 1 golden apple, and 1 gold chest plate. It seems like nothing right now, but it'll come into play a few clips later. But yeah, I grabbed the gold blocks. I ended up later finding a crater, and it was like, oh, it's about this big, and the server crashed. It was crashed for a while. I paused. Then after coming back, I realized I had forgotten to unpause. At this point, I had a bunch of dogs and had sort of found an area where I was going to put my house, which is right where I was standing just then. Let's see. Yeah, then this is me saying, yep, I'm going to place my house here, and started to place it. Dogs are all over the place, but that's about how big-ish my house is. Cow got in my way, punched it, and I tell my children, kill it, my children. And the dogs went and got me the meat of the cow. I was like, good, my minions. Here, I ended up going back over to spawn. I was just south of spawn, but we decided we're going to place tons of flowers by this beehive as offerings. Here is my house after it was finished. Okay, I didn't like the chimney. If you'll go back there, in fact, I'm going to replay that clip. If you go back there, you'll see that, excuse me, yeah, as it should be replaying right now, you'll see in my chest there's 2 gold apples, 4 obsidian, 2 chest plates. That's because when the server crashed, I had the stuff in my inventory. And when it crashed, it remembered what was in my inventory. But it didn't remember that the stuff had been taken out of the chest, and so I have that. I got double that. And then here you'll see me starting a small enclosure for some sheep. And here we go, back into the live version. So now that you're back from watching the clips or just watching the intro, that's much smoke, I'm going to go over sort of all the important things that happened that likely weren't all in the clips because I didn't record everything. But yeah, let's go over that. First off, this is my house. You may have seen it in the clips or you may not have. Not a fan of the roof, but I built it all on my own. Made the design and everything. It's got main floor, main storage, and then enchanting. As you saw, come on, I've got a couple of dogs. I've got 2 here, and then 2 in back. Excuse me. Are you okay? It's sure that they're fine. I'm sure they're fine. Eggs. Here I've got some chickens and sheep. The fox in there is named Andrea. Why? Because that was the first name that popped into my head. Got a bunch of cows, a horse, so I want to do horse breeding for something better. A couple of llamas when a wandering trader randomly showed up. And I've got a mine a staircase that goes all the way to Y11 and goes through a mine shaft. Let's just get rid of these eggs. Sorry, sheep. Over here, I worked and made a minecart track that goes straight to spawn. So here's spawn at the end of this minecart track, which is labeled to my house because that's the only place it leads right now. Someone made a glass orb. It's apparently a house and bakery. Here, as you know, this is the Bee SMP, and we worship the bees. This is the community house, which we built very beginning, so it's a safe place right near spawn, which is, I believe, right over here-ish. Oh shoot, I need to eat. We've got... To be completely honest, I actually haven't been near spawn that much, so I'm exploring it with you guys. Apparently we have a courthouse. This looks pretty nice. As you saw, I'm still in iron armor, but there are a few people who have gotten netherite, so I am very behind. I don't even have diamond armor. Community enchanting table. Place to stay if you don't have a house. Excuse me. A place to stay if you don't have a house. Random signs are all over the place. We're both at a point where everyone is far ahead and yet has not done much at the same time. By the way, this is the Bee Brigade. They belong to me, and we attack anyone who doesn't agree with the bees. A few people have decided they're making a cult of bats. Yeah. And then the one thing is we're saving the Ender Dragon for a video later on, but the owner was like, because that's gonna take a while, they just spawned everyone in an elytra. So, as you can tell, there's a little bit of making things more comfortable for us players, such as giving us elytra. If we die, we have keep inventory. Why am I just walking on the minecart track instead of, actually taking a minecart? Crazy stuff like that. Did I just... Whomst is enchanted. Whomst. Got an enchanted bow, or... I don't know, they've disappeared. Or I could have just been blind and it was simply snow. Who knows? But yeah, that's the main area. I've done a little bit of exploring in the Nether. In fact, I've also found a bastion. And I'm not sure if other players have found it since I found it, but hopefully, if they haven't, I can introduce it to them, and it can be shown off in another video. But since this is sort of just the intro, I'm ending it there, since now you know all the important stuff. So with that, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!